Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I'm continuing my 31 days of horror movie reviews and the Halloween franchise. This time, Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers. Yes, after the fiasco, I guess you could call it, with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, people wanted Michael Myers back, and so the studio listened and gave us Michael Myers back 10 years after the original in 1988, the year I was born. This time, John Carpenter has no involvement at all with this movie. It is directed by Dwight H. Little, and the plot is, like I said, 10 years after what happened in Haddonfield with Myers and Laurie Strode. Michael Myers, his body, what's left of his body, is being transferred from this hospital, and he just wakes up. He wakes up overhearing that he has a little niece, and he kills all of the EMT workers, breaks out. Dr. Loomis, who he too is still alive somehow, some way. Dr. Loomis is on to him. He knows where he's going. He knows what he wants to do. Michael Myers is coming back to Haddonfield to kill his little 10-year-old niece. So, what do I think of Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers? Well, I actually really enjoy this movie. I do. And it's really ultimately because this movie should suck. It should. There's so many reasons why this movie should suck. First of all, I love that end of Halloween 2, and that definitive end from Michael burning in that hospital. Even Loomis taking himself out to kill Michael Myers. It was poetic. It made so much sense. So this movie undoes that, negates it. Sure, on both accounts it does. But I do like seeing Michael Myers, his body wrapped up and heavily burnt, and you see the scars on his hands and arms. At least there's now a reason to keep his face covered. We never have to see his face, whether he wears a mask or not. And him breaking out, there are moments in this movie where Michael Myers is overly strong. Just his bare hands, he could stick his finger into someone's forehead. Or there's a scene later on in the movie where he grabs this guy by the side of his face and rips his neck and cheek off, the skin of it. You're what the fuck? Is he just that strong, or does he have really sharp fingernails that he's ripping into people's skins with? But hey, Michael Myers is freakishly strong, and you could argue, how the hell is he that strong after being shot so many times and being burned to a crisp? Who knows? But who cares? Because he's a force of nature, and they do a good job depicting him as such. My only real complaint about Michael Myers himself is this mask sucks. And I'm not talking about this mask on the cover, because this mask on the cover is actually pretty damn awesome. It looks just like the original mask from 1978. This is the mask I'm talking about. This mask looks fucking atrocious. It looks terrible. It is. It's bad. And the explanation of him going to the Halloween store and just grabbing a random white mask off the shelf, okay, maybe that is a decent explanation for why it doesn't look as good. The real reason is because the production couldn't make a better looking costume or a better looking mask than that. But then again, there's a part in the movie where you see a bunch of copycat Michael Myers, or just other kids being dicks and dressing up like Myers and walking around trying to scare people. Their fake masks look better and look more like Michael Myers, the original one, than the actual Michael Myers one does. It's so weird. Every time I see that moment where they all surround them and there's a bunch of them and you see their faces, I'm like, their masks look better. What the hell? Why couldn't we just take that off that one kid and have this guy wear it? Also, this actor playing Myers, his posture is all weird. He's very stiff and very I don't know, there's something about his shoulders that don't look scary. Danielle Harris plays Jamie Lloyd, Jamie named after Jamie Lee Curtis. She plays the daughter of Laurie Strode. Now, the explanation for the whereabouts of Laurie Strode is that she died in a car accident, which sort of sucks. It's really this character who was so important to the first two original movies, she died in between movies and had a daughter with who? Who's the father? What's the story here? But you're willing to go along with it because Danielle Harris is so damn good. And I'm talking about, she's 10 years old, and she just plays this girl who's so hurt and so damaged and so just sad that she doesn't have her mother anymore, and you see her with her pictures and just that longing to have that family, but she doesn't have it. She has this adopted family who loves her and cares for her, but she always feels bad about things. She always feels like everything is her fault. And you feel for this girl, especially the scenes where she's at school and getting bullied and all the kids are being fucking dicks, talking about her uncle being the boogeyman and all this stuff. Her mother's dead. It's like, wow, fuck you, kids, first of all. But once again, such a young age, I think she's able to pull off these emotional and really psychological situations, the nightmares she's having. She pulls all that stuff off well. Her adopted sister, Rachel, is played by Ellie Cornell, who's really good in the movie as well. I like that she's trying to be there for Jamie. She is, even when she likes this guy, Brady, who's a fucktard and a dick, when she has to cancel their date because she has to watch Jamie. This guy's like, oh, okay, well, screw you. And he goes and literally screws this other blonde girl, the sheriff's daughter, and it's like, what the fuck? And she actually feels bad about it. It's one of those situations that I guess you have to have because this guy's a dick. So when he does die, I feel maybe a little bad because he tried to protect them, but still, you're a dick. Donald Pleasance, like I said, as Sam Loomis, he's great. He is, especially this movie. Like, he was good in the other two movies, and I really like him in part 2. But this movie, like, again, he's just selling it. He's selling Myers being this unstoppable force, this immovable object, this thing that he doesn't even consider human. He's like, this is just something from hell itself, a force of nature, someone that's a killing machine. And I love hearing him explain to other people. Sure, they look at him like he's crazy, and maybe he is a little crazy at this point, but he knows what he's talking about. He's a guy who we as the audience are like, yeah, dude, you know what you're talking about. Loomis goes to the sheriff. I do like this new sheriff, Sheriff Meeker. Good actor, and I like that he does what he can at his best to try to protect the characters and the town. But the town people, there's a moment where when they find out what's going on, when they can't contact the police, they take it upon themselves to go out there with guns and say, fuck it, we're going to go after this fucker ourselves. And I love that. That's something that you never see in horror movies, where the people in the town just gang up together and say, fuck it, let's do this. Unfortunately, they're a little dumb and rednecky, so they make some major fucking mistakes, accidentally kill this innocent guy. They fuck up. They fuck up hard. This is the ending. Obviously, spoilers if you haven't seen Halloween 4, but the ending of this movie where you think that Myers is dead and gone for good, and little Jamie goes back home, and her mother's gonna put her to bed until you see the point of view of somebody taking scissors, putting on a mask, and you think, holy fuck, is this what I think it is? And then Loomis and Rachel and everyone sees at the top of the stairs, Jamie has killed her adopted mother. She looks batshit crazy. She's covered in blood. She's wearing a similar clown outfit that Michael wore when he was a kid. It's like, fuck, this, whatever it is, has been passed down to family, and now it's to this poor little girl who's so mentally screwed up. And it was such a bold, such a shocking ending, especially I'm sure for the time. It must have been crazy to see that in the theater. And it's one of those cliffhangers, Loomis's reaction and like wanting to put the gun to her and shoot her. I want to see the very next movie. Now, we'll get there, but still, this standalone movie, I thought was pretty damn good. A whole lot better than it should have been. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the return of Michael Myers? Do you like it as much as I do? Were you upset by certain things that they did? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!